Rocketman, out in cinemas now, the Elton John movie starring Taron Egerton. And I'm saying the Elton John movie because it's not exactly a traditional biopic. The movie opens with Elton walking in a ridiculous orange costume with those huge wings and horns on his head into an AA meeting. He sits down and begins to talk about himself, starting with his early childhood. And both the fact that it's not really public knowledge if and when the singer actually went into such a rehabilitation institution, because it is one, as well as the fact that we are watching his life story through his eyes as an unreliable narrator, allowed the filmmakers a lot more freedom than usual. The result is what I would describe as a fantasy musical more than a biopic. A large part of the story is told in a somewhat traditional way, but certain events will be narrated by songs and dance. Elton's songs, which fit surprisingly well into a lot of those situations when it comes to lyrics and the tone. Somehow he will sing, occasionally others join in, sometimes it's a small setting, other times it's a huge dance number. It's made very clear that we're not meant to take the movie literally. It's more of an emotional retelling of the story than a factual one. But I think that's a huge strength of the film. As I said, this gave the filmmakers a lot more freedom, and I think they used it to an amazing extent. The movie is very creative, colorful, just full of life and this sort of inner flame. It manages to juggle emotions quite well. I think that the big set pieces, the explosive dance numbers, and concert scenes were better done as songs, but the movie also does melancholy and sadness and loneliness quite well. I don't think I had a single moment where I didn't buy into all of this stuff. And the key reason for that is Taron Egerton, who carries the movie, and he just does a tremendous job. I know that last year Rami Malek was praised for his role of Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, but to me, Taron is just better. Perhaps it has to do with the fact that although he is a bit similar to Elton physically, and he does some of his mannerisms really well, like his smile, he manages to put his own charm into the role, whereas Malek was just reenacting Freddie as straight as he could. Taron, let me say it again, is just fantastic. He nails the energetic showmanship, but he also, even more importantly, nails the underlying sorrow and shyness and loneliness. You can see that especially in the concert scenes. He's very clearly playing a not so confident person, putting on a show of someone charismatic. My favorite scene of the film was right at the beginning, when he walks into the meeting and starts removing pieces of his costume. And as he does so, he's sort of starting to remove layers of his own fake confidence from himself, beginning to reveal more and more of his true emotions. There's a close-up of Taron then, and his facial expressions are just brilliant. Then there's also the singing. In Bohemian Rhapsody, sorry, but the comparison just quite natural here. Malek didn't actually sing. He pretended to, and the voice of the current Queen's vocalist was the actual singing voice matched with the performance. Taron Egerton actually sings all of the songs in the movie, or at least the ones that he as Elton sings. And he does so amazingly well, and similarly to the role as a whole, he puts his own little touch onto those songs, and it works out beautifully. You can see that it's not quite exactly Elton's version, but it's good. I also like the movie for being a little different than other Rockstar movies in the way that the narrative goes. Yes, there's the journey from zero to hero and then the downfall, but the individual beats are just done more naturally, let's say. For example, in a lot of those music biopics, you'll have a scene where everybody tells the band they can't do it, then they play a song and it's a hit and everyone is like, well, we've got a genius here. Here in the equivalent scene, Elton starts playing and singing a couple of songs in a row to a manager, and the guy just cuts him off every single time after just seconds with really negative comments. What the fuck was that? This is so boring, etc. And there are more moments like this. I obviously don't want to spoil the movie for anyone by talking about any more of them. Just wanted to say that both the career trajectory and the personal life with Elton's homosexuality, his strained relations with parents and some of the other people in his life were all done in a smart way with dignity and taste and humor. Because at times the movie really is sad. You feel Elton's pain through the scenes and you can't help but feel sorry for him, but it's not really too bleak because the filmmakers managed to find those little sprinkles of humor at times, even if it's a dark humor. So to sum this all up, I think it's a brilliant film. I liked both the technical aspect of the production and the storytelling and the acting and the music. And often in times like these, between all the praise, I will think to myself and realize that maybe not everyone will appreciate a movie for one reason or another because it belongs to a certain genre or stars someone that not everybody likes. But not this one. I think this film will be enjoyable for just about anyone.